Get started. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN.
This wasn't supposed to happen. Just weeks after settling a lawsuit that threatened to derail everything, Shannon Sharpe has been abruptly and permanently cut from ESPN.
Damn!
The news landed with a quiet thud, not a public announcement, but through hushed whispers that quickly turned into a deafening roar across social media. The network made the stunning, almost inexplicable decision to part ways with one of the biggest stars on First Take, a move that sent shockwaves through the sports world, leaving fans and industry insiders reeling. How could a Hall of Famer, a three-time Super Bowl champion, and one of sports media's most recognizable and dynamic faces lose it all so quickly, and with such an unceremonious exit? It all began back in April, when the first whispers of trouble emerged. Shannon Sharpe, the seemingly untouchable icon, was hit with a lawsuit by a 19-year-old woman in a move to protect her identity, initially filed under the name Jane Doe. This was no ordinary relationship drama, no simple lovers' quarrel playing out in public. The lawsuit levied chillingly serious accusations, battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress, seeking an astronomical sum of over $50 million in damages. This wasn't just a legal fee. It was destroy your entire career and legacy money, a sum capable of dismantling everything he had meticulously built over decades. The sheer magnitude of the demand immediately set off alarm bells, signaling a battle far more profound than anyone initially imagined. When the lawsuit first dropped, the initial reaction from Sharpe was defiant. He voluntarily stepped away from ESPN, a move framed as a temporary pause, a strategic retreat to handle a personal matter. He publicly vowed to return before the NFL preseason, projecting an image of calm assurance. He vehemently called the entire ordeal a shakedown, promising to fight it with every fiber of his being, portraying himself as a victim of manipulation. And, in a show of initial solidarity that would later prove fleeting, ESPN stood by him, acknowledging the gravity of the situation, but expressing confidence in his eventual return. The network, at that time, seemed willing to ride out the storm, believing in the resilience of their star. But the case behind the closed doors of legal proceedings and in the more open, murky waters of public perception quickly devolved into a messy, unpredictable battleground. Sharpe's legal team, in a bold and controversial move, began releasing explicit text messages between him and the accuser. Their strategy was clear: to attempt to portray their relationship as consensual, to undermine the accusations by painting a picture of mutual engagement. Meanwhile, the accuser's legal representatives countered with a starkly different narrative, painting a chilling picture of abuse and control, meticulously detailing the emotional distress she allegedly endured. The court of public opinion became as crucial as the actual courtroom. And then there was her attorney, Tony Busby. The mention of his name alone sent a ripple of unease through the industry. This was no ordinary lawyer. This was the same formidable figure who had represented over 20 women against Deshaun Watson in similarly sensitive cases. He was also the lawyer who had represented women in serious allegations against other high-profile figures, including allegations against Jay-Z and Diddy. Busby's involvement immediately raised the stakes, giving the lawsuit a different kind of weight, signaling that this was not a case to be easily dismissed. His reputation for relentless pursuit and achieving significant settlements meant that Sharpe was facing a formidable adversary who had a proven track record of going after high-profile black celebrities. The very presence of Busby shifted the dynamics of the entire conflict, transforming it from a private legal dispute into a high-stakes public spectacle. Earlier this month, a quiet, almost secretive settlement was reached. The exact amount remained undisclosed, shrouded in the discreet language of legal agreements. Yet, whispers quickly circulated, fanned by industry insiders, that the settlement figure was as high as $29 million. When someone as boisterous and unequivocally outspoken about their innocence as Shannon Sharpe settles out of court, especially for such a staggering sum, it inevitably sparks a whirlwind of questions, leaving a lingering cloud of doubt. Did he truly do what he was accused of, and was this settlement an admission? Or was he simply forced into a payment by a manipulative scheme to avoid further reputational damage and legal costs? The ambiguity was unsettling. Adding another layer to the story, it was allegedly reported that, after receiving this substantial sum, the woman abruptly and dramatically quit her OnlyFans account, a detail that further fueled public speculation and the darker theories swirling around the case. From ESPN's perspective, the decision to part ways was a cold, calculated risk assessment, a grim calculation of value versus liability. Shannon Sharpe was, without a doubt, a massive draw for First Take. His fiery, often hilarious, and always unpredictable debates with Stephen A. Smith consistently delivered solid ratings, making the show a must-watch for millions. He had even recently signed a new contract, extending his tenure into 2024, poised to take on even more responsibilities and a larger, more prominent role across the network. He was, by all accounts, on an upward trajectory. But in today's hypersensitive media climate, where a single misstep or a serious allegation can ignite a firestorm of public backlash, networks are incredibly wary. The tolerance for even the perception of impropriety, especially concerning such sensitive issues, has plummeted. ESPN likely determined that keeping him, despite his star power and contractual obligations, simply wasn't worth the potential reputational damage, the constant scrutiny, or the future complications. They probably envisioned the potential backlash from advertisers, the relentless pressure from advocacy groups, and a lingering shadow of the allegations impacting their brand integrity. It became clear that cutting ties completely was, in their view, the safest, most pragmatic bet, a preemptive strike against potential future problems and public relations nightmares. It was a cold, corporate decision, devoid of sentiment, driven by the stark realities of brand protection in a volatile media landscape. But what does this truly mean for Shannon Sharpe's legacy? Beyond the financial implications, beyond the corporate machinations, lies the profound impact on a man who had meticulously built an incredible career from the ground up. His journey from an NFL legend, a powerhouse tight and enshrined in the Hall of Fame, to a media icon known for his unfiltered opinions and engaging personality, has taken an unexpected, tragic turn. This fall from grace, ignited by deeply personal, ill-fated decisions, now leaves an indelible stain on his public image. His once unblemished reputation now carries a shadow that may prove impossible to fully escape. The silence from his camp after the ESPN decision, the immediate social media blackout from the network regarding his departure, all hint at a deeper, more painful crisis unfolding behind the scenes. We're talking about unreleased footage of network executives in heated debates over his fate, unheard conversations about damage control and legal strategies, and the palpable industry backlash that has rippled through Hollywood and sports media circles. This isn't just about a public figure's fall. It's a stark, almost brutal, cautionary tale about the immense pressure and unrelenting scrutiny that comes with celebrity, where personal choices can have cataclysmic professional consequences. We invite you to subscribe to our channel for more deep dive celebrity interviews, hidden truths, and Hollywood breakdowns that the mainstream media often overlooks. The stories behind the headlines that truly reveal the raw human drama. The story doesn't end with his departure from ESPN. Many are now anxiously wondering about the future of his popular YouTube show, Club Shay Shay. Even with the lawsuit settled, the lingering specter of the allegations and the public perception of impropriety could deter potential sponsors. Major brands, ever cautious, might shy away from associating with a personality embroiled in such controversy, even if legally resolved. Will viewership remain loyal in the wake of this scandal? Or will the audience, once drawn to his unfiltered candor, now view him through a different, more cynical lens? The challenge of rebranding, of rebuilding trust, and of securing new endorsements in this altered landscape looms large. The public court of opinion is often far more unforgiving than any legal one, and the shadow of suspicion can be a career killer. This entire ordeal has ignited a wider, often uncomfortable, societal conversation. Many observers are quick to point out a recurring pattern. Highly successful men, particularly prominent black men in positions of power, repeatedly making personal choices that lead to devastating professional and reputational consequences. The narrative of tricking off your money with relationships that jeopardize everything you've built resonates deeply with a segment of the public, fueling debates about personal responsibility and accountability among figures of influence. It's a harsh, unvarnished look at how unchecked personal desires can become a monumental downfall, echoing cautionary tales whispered through generations. The quiet truth is, no matter the Super Bowls, no matter the Hall of Fame induction, No matter the fame and personal wealth, the substantial income from ESPN was a significant, perhaps central, pillar of his financial and professional life. And he lost it. He made a choice, a bad personal decision, as many are now calling it, a choice that involved a significantly younger individual. And the consequences, as we are now seeing, are severe and far-reaching. This isn't just about a contract termination. It's about a tarnished legacy, a dramatic and public unraveling of an empire meticulously built over decades. The irony isn't lost on those who remember Shannon Sharpe's often outspoken, sometimes provocative, views on relationships, choices, and accountability. Now, he finds himself in a situation that painfully underscores the very pitfalls he often warned others about, a dramatic and public humbling that serves as a stark, almost poetic, example of the direct and often brutal consequences of those choices. The public spectacle, the whispers of betrayal, the silent phone calls from former colleagues. It all paints a picture of a man grappling with the seismic fallout of a singular, defining moment. What do you think this seismic event means for Shannon Sharpe's career moving forward? Is this a temporary setback, a challenge he will eventually overcome and bounce back from, or a permanent, irreparable shift in his public standing and professional trajectory? The story of Shannon Sharpe's unceremonious exit from ESPN is a complex tapestry woven with threads of ambition, success, personal choice, and dramatic consequence. It's a story that continues to unfold, leaving us to wonder about the unseen chapters yet to be written. Explore our other videos for the deeper, untold stories they didn't want you to see in the headlines. And let us know your thoughts on this gripping development in the comments below.